Good morning. My name is Eric Goodale, and I'm an attorney here at Henson First in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am the law firm's Social Security Disability Attorney. I'm here to talk with you today about the impact that the coronavirus pandemic has had on the functioning of the Social Security Administration, in particular, in terms of holding hearings with administrative law judges. Now, as most of you are aware, due to shelter-in-place orders, stay-at-home orders, social distancing requirements, Social Security has been forced to close all of their offices, including the Office of Hearings Operations, where the hearings take place, to the public. So all in-person hearings are now no longer an option. So in its place, Social Security has come up with three different options on how people can handle their hearings, hearings that are currently scheduled or ones that will be coming up in the not too distant future. First, and this is the option that Social Security is really pushing upon most people, is we can select to have a telephone hearing. This would require that the judge is at their home. They would call the claimant, they would call the attorney, they would call any necessary experts, either vocational or medical experts who are testifying, and the judge would call all these people, and we'd all be on one giant phone call, and the hearing would proceed as normal. Obviously, it's a little bit different, but it may slow things up a little bit in terms of the length of the hearing, but generally speaking, the procedures would remain the same once everyone is on the telephone. A second option is people can select to have their hearings postponed. This would mean that the hearing would be removed from the hearing calendar and put back in the general hopper. And obviously, they would have to wait until the coronavirus restrictions and social distancing regulations are either relaxed or ended entirely. And then at that point, the hearings that were postponed due to the coronavirus would take precedence, and they would be brought back up on the calendar and rescheduled before other hearings that may not have been impacted by the coronavirus restrictions. The third option is to request a video hearing. Now, I bring this up because it is an option, but it's not one that's going to be widely used because it requires attorneys to have certified video locations set up with Social Security. Most attorneys don't have that. And even if the attorneys who do have it, most of the attorneys' offices, again, are not allowing in-person contact or people to come into the office where the video equipment would be. So the video option, while there, is not one that's widely being used at this point. So it really comes down to, do you want to postpone your hearing or do you want to select a telephone hearing option? Now, if we're making that decision between telephone hearings and postponing hearings, the obviously question that comes up is, which one's best? Why do I select one over the other? Generally speaking, here at Henson First, we have been recommending to our clients that telephone hearings are not the best option. It doesn't mean we won't select it. Doesn't mean it's not always going to be a good option for people. But in a general sense, we'd prefer to have either in-person or video hearings. With telephone hearings, we're just concerned that one, maybe the denial rates potentially go up. It's easier for judges to deny people when they're not looking at them, they're not seeing them face to face. It puts a lot more emphasis on the medical records, which is important already. But if someone can't be seen at a hearing, then the medical records are really telling the entire story. The other factor with phone hearings is that if the judge can't see you, there are some things that would be detrimental. Maybe you have a physical impairment that you have to walk into the hearing using a walker or coming in a wheelchair or a cane. Maybe you're limping and hobbling. Maybe you're grimacing in pain as you sit down and stand up out of the chair. Maybe you have joints that are really swollen. Maybe you're really depressed and you can just see that written all over your face. The judges, those things help, and not being able to see that sometimes could be a detriment and reasons why telephone hearings may not be the best thing in the world. With that being said, though, I have full confidence that the judges can make fair decisions doing telephone hearings if a client chooses to go down that road. So yes, we just want to make sure that people are aware of the potential negatives, but it very well may not have any negative impact at all. And the judges may be able to process hearings through telephone hearings just as in the same way that they would with an in-person or video hearing. Now, Obviously, the postponement option is good in the sense that it avoids the telephone hearing and allows people to take advantage of the in-person hearing that may happen down the road. The negative to the telephone hearing is, or excuse me, to the postponing the hearing is that obviously things are delayed. It pushes things out, and it could be pushed out substantially. And most attorneys are going to understand that people don't necessarily have that option financially. They need to have their case heard now and taken care of now. So generally speaking, there are pros and cons to picking a postponement versus a telephone hearing. And it's really incumbent upon each particular claimant to reach out to their attorney to discuss those options and to listen to what the attorney suggests. Sometimes the attorney may recommend that the telephone hearing makes a lot of sense. Maybe the case is strong. Maybe there just isn't types of conditions that are going to be impacted whether the judge sees the person or not. And again, taking into consideration the particular claimant's financial circumstances and overall circumstances, telephone hearings may be worthwhile. So my point is that you want to talk to the attorney, figure out what options make the most sense. Just calling your attorney saying, I want a phone hearing so I can get this done and I can get my case moving, doesn't always make sense. Listen to what your attorney has to recommend, give your thoughts, and then you and your attorney can make a sound and reasoned decision as to which option may make the most sense for you. Even if that means postponing your case for a number of months, that may sometimes be in your best interest. So reach out to your attorney, talk with them. Ultimately, it's your decision as the client, as the claimant. It's your decision to determine if you want to have a phone hearing or if you want to postpone the hearing. So while your attorney can give suggestions as to why one option may be more beneficial than another, ultimately it's your decision, and the attorney should respect the decision that you make in that. But in the same breath, make sure that you listen to your attorney and listen to the recommendations that they're making, because they do have your best interests in mind. One other point I wanted to come back to in terms of whether you're selecting a phone hearing or not is one of the big factors is the judge who is assigned. Some judges have better approval rates than others. Some judges are very procedure oriented in the hearing, and that may make a telephone hearing easier to handle. Some judges like to have a lot more back and forth conversation with the attorney, kind of hashing through the evidence, hashing through all the testimony, and that's good. That's a really good thing, but that may not translate as well into a telephone hearing type of environment. So those are some other factors that the attorneys are going to be looking at and considering when they're determining what option to take. So the overall point of this video is just to let everyone know that there are options. Hearings are not just being postponed or canceled because of the coronavirus pandemic. Talk to your attorney, reach out to your attorney, figure out what option makes the most sense, and come to a reasoned conclusion. Once you and your attorney have figured out what you want to do, your attorney will reach out to Social Security and the judge's office and let them know which option they want to do. The judges will not object either way. They will not object if you want to have the hearing postponed. They will not hold that against you. The judges understand the variety of factors that are in play and understand why attorneys and clients pick one option over the other. So don't feel like you're putting your case in jeopardy if you want to postpone, thinking that the judge really wanted to get the case done and moved out. So that's not an option. So talk to your attorney. If you don't have an attorney, feel free to reach out to us here at Henson First, or if you're not local to North Carolina, feel free to reach out to any attorney that's in your area to discuss with them these options and moving forward with your hearing. So if you have any questions about your options, about anything we've discussed on this video, please feel free to reach out to me or any of the other attorneys here at Henson First. We're more than happy to assist you in any way. As I said, we're open, we're functioning, and we're here to answer any questions to help you through your hearing process. I hope this video has been helpful, and I wish everyone the best in terms of how they proceed forward with their hearing. Please stay safe and healthy throughout the coronavirus pandemic. And thank you very much for listening, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.